FSF PopCast live show. Well, hello and howdy, kids and cadets. Welcome to the FSF PopCast live show. Ben and I are here. We are the nerds creating this nerdery for you nerds, and we hope that you are going to hang out in said nerdery for a while. We got a couple cool things we want to talk about tonight, and really excited about Andor season 2 trailer dropped today, and I, for one, I got the vapors.
That's a way to put it. Sure.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very excited about this trailer. I have been looking forward to season 2. Andor was one of my favorite shows. Rogue One was one of my favorite movies out of the Star Wars. It's the best thing, in my opinion, that Lucasfilm has done since the Disney takeover. And it's just, well, anyway, we're going to talk about that in just a couple minutes here. We also have the vapors, so you're gassy. Yeah, that tracks. I did have some chili. Anyway,
thank God they have not invented smell-o-vision yet.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun though? Because because fine folks of the internet, I am here in the great mitten state of Michigan. Looks a lot like this. Ben is way up in Alaska right now, and it would be fun to be able to share some of that discontent and discomfort with him if I did have the said gassy vapors, as John so alluded. Somebody needs to start working on smell-o-vision.
No, they don't. No, they don't. You would never want to watch Star Wars. Trash compactor scene.
Okay, you got me there. You got me there.
Or how about just anytime Chewbacca's in frame? You want that Wookiee musk just permeating the air?
When he gets wet. You know it's going to smell like wet dog everywhere.
Yeah, maybe let's not create smell-o-vision, please.
Just yet. I mean, it's be beneficial for the shenanigans of one friend passing said cup of cheese to other friend. But yeah.
No.
Tauntauns smell bad on the outside, and then you cut them open.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that scene from Empire might not be watchable. We finally understand what Han meant, though. And I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
I'm really curious what would be the worst smell-o-vision scene from Return.
Ooh.
Oh, well, Jabba. Duh. Literally Jabba and the Rancor. I don't know why that didn't immediately click.
Well, especially when Jabba dies, because then, things die. They get rid of things.
I mean, he does kind of he off-gasses a little bit after he's dead.
Well, yeah, especially that was a great impersonation. That'll track well.
Yeah, you gotta add more tongue to it. Just
it was a conscious decision to not add more tongue to that impersonation.
No, Tim, everyone wants more tongue.
Never mind. I'm leave that one alone. Okay, so
we're off to a great start.
Roaring start tonight. Ben and I have been left unattended. This is not our fault, but we are going to try and get through our live show tonight to talk, like we said, talk about Andor season 2 trailer. And, of course, Captain America, Brave New World. So I'm pretty excited about both of those. But before we jump into the topics, we do have to say thank you, not only to you, our viewers, but the companies that help us make this show possible by their support. That, of course, is Bones Coffee Company. And you can get a discount if you go to their website and use the code FSF PopCast. You get 10% off your order. Idea Farm used to be TCTs, where fandom meets fashion, and they just changed their name, but they're still the same cool company. And if you go there and use code FSF15, you'll get 15% off your order there. And, of course, Eddie AI, because Eddie helps us make our shorts, our reels, all those type of things. Now, as we say every week, we want to remind you guys, it is not a generative AI. We don't use generative AI. But this is something that it helps. It's used as a tool to help you work with the things that you have already produced, the things that you have already made. So that's why we use Eddie AI. And then, of course, the one, the only, the lightsaber that's better than a stick, Level Up Sabers. And so go check them out. If you click the link there, my battery's dead, but I have mine here. I got to charge my battery.
I have something that's not as good, but still usable. It's a stick.
It's a stick.
I have a stick. I can guarantee without any shadow of a doubt that Level Up Sabers is significantly better.
But I love the
handle on that thing. It's beautiful. And then the attention to detail on this stick.
But look how smooth that stick is. Look how smooth
it is a surprisingly smooth piece of bamboo. Would you count bamboo as a stick? Because it's technically not.
I mean, if it's stick shaped, we're going to count it as a stick. If not stick, why stick shaped?
Oh, that goes into way more things then. We'll talk about that later as well. No, we won't.
John said, you got to add more tongue, and everyone wants more tongue, soon to appear on merch from the FSF PopCast.
Mm-hmm. Got to add more tongue with the stick. That's the only way to... What? Everyone's happy with tongue on the stick.
Anyway,
friendly.
And on that note, we do want to take a moment to remind you that so in the show notes down below, not only do we have links for each one of our show sponsors, but you have the opportunity to sign up for free movie codes, free merch from us. It says win free loot. You click that button, you give us your name and email address. We enter you into the drawings that we hold every month. And you're not only entered into this month's drawing, you're entered into every drawing move forward. So you have opportunity to win multiple times. We have people that have won multiple things from us. And so what is on the docket for tonight? Well, tonight we're showing you the movie called Cleaner. From the director of Casino Royale, don't miss Daisy Ridley, Clive Owen, and Taz Skylar in the action-packed thriller Cleaner. When a former soldier gets caught in a deadly hostage situation, she is forced to engage in her old ways engage in her old ways in order to save the lives of all involved. Full of twists, turns, and death-defying stunts, Cleaner is in theaters February 21st. You can get your tickets now at Fandango, and this is playing at every major theater. So we even have a couple of tickets, a couple codes for this. So yeah, we have some Fandango codes that we're going to be giving away. So if you haven't had a chance to sign up yet and you think this movie's kind of cool and you want to check it out, here's your opportunity. We'll be giving those away. Well, let's see, today's the 24th. End of the month is coming up right around the corner. So sign up as soon as possible. Click the link that says win free loot. So John is pushing envelopes and says nobody likes getting splinters in any part of their anatomy, friends. Well, some people might, but I'm not qualified to speak on their behalf, though. We're going to go with nobody wants splinters.
You see, that's where the miscommunication part starts. You see, when I say stick, what I really mean... Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Is bamboo.
Exactly. Which, technically speaking, is actually a grass.
Or grasse, as some might say.
No one says
I don't know who would say that, but, it's entirely possible that somebody...
They don't.
They don't. And maybe it'll catch on.
I think that's just you.
Well, in the ever going search to try and get something stupid that you've said to go viral, that's just, you keep throwing things up against the wall, see if one of them will stick.
Speaking of up against the wall, I just found this random card, like literally up against the wall behind me. Never seen it before. No idea how it got here. It just says all small terrors pass. Don't give up. And it's a little bug stuck on their back. Either stuck on their back or doing crunches.
I like to think he's trying to better himself, so he's doing stomach crunches.
Yeah.
Although
I just think that's funny.
Most insects' thoraxes are pretty well ripped already, so
I was gonna make a joke. I'm family friendly.
It's gonna be that kind of night. My advice for the week: always save before closing your project. Right? Really, John? You had to bring that up? Really? Okay. So, story time. Just real brief before we get into everything. So, story time here. So, in our last RPG session for our Star Wars RPG, is this a spoiler if you haven't watched it already? My character, the clone DeLorean, Farmer Ted, is now dead. I like to say that John murdered him. John likes to say that I chose my death. And it's a little column A, a little column B, but
it's kind of not, though, because you said one number and John said a bigger number.
Again, John murdered me. So,
yes, we are all in agreement on that, except for John.
Except for John. But so we were creating my new character for the next session. We went entirely through this thing, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty proud of the character that I picked out. John was excited about the level of research I put into this character, and he had ideas swirling through his head. We had the entire sheet, front and back, all loaded up, all my feats, got him up to level 12, so he'd be in step with the rest of the characters.
Did you hit the save button?
I did not.
No,
we got done.
How
much
of that do you remember?
A little bit. I remember what I have written down. I mean, I do have my notes here. So, but that's only gonna, get me so far, and then I've got to rely on John. So, I'm only disappointed that Edna survived.
Oh,
if you would have killed off Edna, you would be in so much hot water. I'm actually kind of sad that Edna didn't survive now too, or that Edna did survive rather. So, just to know the amount of trouble that John would legitimately and actually be in.
We would have seen a beating live on camera.
There's the hope.
Just the moment that Edna fails the final death save, and just
right,
we just see her disappear from like her frame and appear lunging at John in his frame.
Right.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, so one last quick thing before we get into our actual topic for tonight. So this is coming up this week. I'm sitting down with this person, not only for the FSF PopCast, but as many of you may know, I am also a writer, a contributor at a website called Couch Soup. And so I have an exclusive interview with this person, not only for the PopCast, but also for Couch Soup. We're doing it in 2 different stages, 2 different ways. So the content on each of them will be exclusive to each. So it's kind of exciting. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but I love to play Helldivers 2. It's a great video game, especially if you are a fan of like Starship Troopers type stuff, and you like, you thought that was really cool. You like the movie Tremors. You like killing bugs and worms and all that stuff. Ta-da. And then there's robots and there's alien zombie type things called the Illuminate and all these other things. Anyway, Catherine Baskin is the community manager for Arrowhead Game Studios, the creator of Helldivers 2. And so I'm going to sit down with her this week. We're going to talk about some questions about her work at Arrowhead, everything she's doing. And then she's also going to talk about some very specific questions about gameplay, community involvement, and how important it is to have feedback from players like you and I. So that's coming up later. That'll be coming next week, actually, for both Couch Soup and the FSF PopCast. So pretty excited about that. John says there's a topic. There is a topic. We're just taking our sweet time to get there because, again, Ben and I are unsupervised. and we are strolling through this conversation in the most lovely ADHD way possible. So, yeah. But I guess we can get to the topic.
I'm assuming Andor first, because it's only a 1.5-minute trailer, and then...
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, Andor Season 2 trailer dropped today, and it is 1.5 minutes long. I don't know how they found 71 Easter eggs, but Screen Crush has a video out there with 71 Easter eggs. I haven't had time to watch it yet. I will be checking that out very quickly here. I love checking out their videos.
Funnily enough, when I typed in Andor Season 2 trailer, the first result was actually the Easter egg video, and then directly under that was the actual trailer. So I'm like, huh, that was fast. Didn't it literally come out like an hour ago or something like that? Or like,
it was earlier this morning, but yeah, all the same. Nah. Yeah, it was this morning, but all the same, they churn those things out so fast. It's impressive, which I think that is as big of an outfit as they are. I've never asked Ryan this, but I'm assuming that they probably get access to some of these things early, and they're just not allowed to, promote it or show anything until Disney releases their stuff. Because we've had opportunity like that with a few different things where we've had early access to something, but we could not talk about it before this date, and so we had to hold up to it before that. But yeah, so a couple things right off the bat. The Season 2 looks way more colorful. Season 1 was a little drab in the colors, and I think that was intentional. I think that was on purpose.
Yeah, Season 1 was dark for the sake of being dark.
Right.
To kind of like drag you through the mud of getting into the rebellion.
Yeah. I think, and part of it was to have you experience and maybe feel like you were feeling what they were feeling. And so I kind of think that's what some of that was. But this trailer is very bright, very lively. Non-typical Star Wars music in the trailer.
Yeah.
Kind of dig it.
It's not bad, but it doesn't feel Star Wars. It feels like they just found music to put into the trailer, as opposed to what they normally do, where it's either just suspenseful, dramatic vibe music, or straight up just Star Wars.
All right, music selection didn't fit for John. I get that. But here's what I am going to be interested to see. How many... Okay, so there's a difference between it not fitting and, having a hissy fit over it. Because Acolyte, I think it was episode 2, had a non-standard closing music. Kind of like this was a non-standard music for Star Wars. And everybody who was already losing their mind over any detail that they could find to lose their mind about over the Acolyte, like lost their pants over this and could not believe that there was non-standard Star Wars music being played. So how many of those people are now going to be okay with this?
I mean, I'm going to put it very bluntly. The main character is not a woman. They are still a person of color. But I think that'll be enough for the Star Wars fans to, hand wave and be like, but this is fine.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong.
Let me correct myself. The Star Wars fans will not have a problem with it. The fandom menace will have an issue.
There we go. Much better, gooder.
Yeah. Let me before I actually pissed off the legitimate Star Wars fans.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with, like we've always said here, like what you like, love what you love, dislike what you dislike. We're all cool with all of that. So, I mean, if you watch this trailer and you're like, man, I really like the trailer, didn't really care for the music. Like John said, the music didn't fit for him. That's completely understandable. It's different strokes, different folks type of thing. I didn't really like the music until like the third time I watched the trailer. And then, cause I spent the first 2 times really not paying attention that much to the music. And I was really watching, and I thought Captain Rex was in this trailer for a hot minute.
Yeah. There were a couple.
That bald trooper, and I'm like, I paused it, had to blow up the screen, and it wasn't because I was watching it on my phone.
look at how many people made the claims of like Rex is going to be an Obi-Wan because there was that one clip in the trailer of the dude that was bald.
Yeah.
I think that's just Disney baiting us, just being like, oh, you want your Rex? Live action Rex?
Oh.
You want it? It's right here.
Oh.
It's not though.
Yeah.
The thing that I think is that this is intentionally. I think the music is intentional. That it's intentionally not fitting for Star Wars or not Star Wars-esque. Because look at the rest of the trailer. There's a whole bunch of points where people, I don't want to say seem to be in disguise, but the rebellious people, Mon Mothma, Andor, they're in kind of a getup. Like they're at the ball or doing some kind of political thing. I think the intent is that this is going to be more of like an undercover show. And then you will still obviously have the bits and pieces of random action, like this scene right here. I don't know if he's in a ship fighting currently. I don't know if he's like in some kind of pod or whatever. Is this a TIE fighter? No, that's not the insides of a TIE.
I think he's inside of a TIE fighter. There's a different TIE fighter that's shown in the trailer towards the end.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So I think he's in that. That'd be my guess. John goes on to say the song in The Acolyte was original to the show. The Revolution Starts Now is by Steve Earle from 2004. Okay. But still, it was just, I still think the issue with the Phantom Menace was that it was female-led, BIPOC, and not that wasn't my Star Wars anyway. But yeah, so
oh yeah, he is in a TIE. It actually, you know what I think it is? I don't think it's actually a TIE. I think. Do you remember those like small troop carriers that were on Lothal?
Yeah,
Rebels. It looks like that. It kind of looks like that a little bit.
It's funny you mentioned Lothal because the scene in the wheat fields of them walking through shooting is almost reminiscent of a couple scenes from Rebels.
Yeah,
and there's a scene and there's time in Rebels where Mon Mothma meets up with the Ghost crew. So now I'm also wondering if we're going to see any of that with a tie-in here. That would be kind of cool. I mean, I doubt it, but it would be very cool to see that.
I think
for the start of the rebellion.
I think the other thing that makes me kind of like believe that this is going to be more like a spy type show is I have a feeling this is going to feel more like James Bond than it will Star Wars, because just rewatching bits of the trailer, there are some voice lines of like Director Krennic, I almost forgot the name for a second, saying, well, this is a swell party. You see a scene of Mon Mothma in a party. All the comments and like the critiques are saying things of like confident and sophisticated, which is not something you would say to like a really gritty, like Rambo style movie.
Right.
So I have a feeling.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm also excited about the fact that they're saying they're Emmy-worthy performances.
Yeah, I'm literally looking at that scene now of just a prestige drama with searing action and Emmy-worthy performances. I think we're going to get a spy flick, and I'm 100% okay with that.
Absolutely, yeah, bring it on for sure.
It's also the
Phantom Menace can go kiss a Gundark. I will second that.
Very, very thankful that you did not specify where on a Gundark, but
let the reader use their imagination. So,
but yeah, there's also the scene of him like he's like dressed up and he's like smiling and suave.
Got his hair all slicked back, and
that's what's really making me think that this is going to be like a spy series.
Spy undercover, sneaking in and out of things. I got to figure out who the girl is in the scene where he's walking away and she's got her hood up and they explode something. So I'm kind of curious. There's a couple questions I have from season 1 but they don't need answers. It'd be
Oh,
cool if
wait
they
a minute.
did get answers, but
Sorry. I'm looking back through the trailer. You see the full shuttle in another scene. It's a TIE interceptor.
right.
So it's not a regular TIE fighter. It's just an interceptor. But there's a scene where he's like just opening fire in whatever building he's in, hovering in the interceptor. So that could be
Right.
that
Which
could be
makes me
fun.
also makes me wonder if they're going to if we're going to see something on Lothal, because that's where the interceptor was built.
That's also true.
So, I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities for this show leading up to Rogue One, and I know that they're probably only going to have 8 episodes,
Which sucks, but
which will suck. But
give us
season one
more.
had, I think
Disney,
season
are
one
you
had,
listening? Give us more.
right? Yeah, that's been the begging. Andor season 1, I want to say, had 12 episodes.
Mm-mm. I don't think so. I think it was
Yep,
like
12.
10?
12
Oh, it did.
episodes. So if we can get 12 episodes like we did in season 1, and they can all maintain that 40 to 50 minute time frame somewhere in there that they were holding pretty strong to in season 1, this can be an amazing series. I mean, season 1 blew me out of the water, and I was thrilled with it. So I'm excited to see where it goes for season 2.
I'm gonna say a thing, and I'm a bad Star Wars fan. I haven't finished season 1.
You have 55 days, sir.
I am aware. I'm a bad Star Wars fan. You could all make fun of me for it. I get. I still haven't even seen Acolyte.
You have
I
50.
want to.
That's not as pressing.
Yeah, because they're never making a season 2 of that because the fandom menace is terrible.
Again, the fandom
they basically
menace
cut that show before it got a chance to actually pick up.
Yeah. I think there's a possibility that they could do other things in the High Republic era that will tie to the Acolyte, but we may not necessarily get the Acolyte again.
Honestly, I would love what's the word I'm looking for? Almost like a slice of life type show of a bunch of Padawans just going through Jedi training. Like, obviously there will be drama, there will be fighting, and there will be theatrical everything. But I would love just watching a show about the everyday life of a Padawan going basically through their equivalent of high school.
So you want the Office,
imagine,
but at the Jedi
Temple. No. I want Boy Meets World. I want Boy Meets World with a Star Wars coating over it.
Okay.
That would be fantastic.
John says Andor is a really slow burn. It did take a bit to keep me interested. There were a couple episodes that I felt like we slogged through, but again, and I say this with a lot of shows where we're undefined characters and things, where it's new places, new faces, new spaces, and so it takes a little more storytelling to help define the things that we're seeing and that are going on. So I was okay with it, because it seemed like the ones that we slogged through, the very next episode, right away, there was a payoff. Here's what you were waiting for. This is what we were setting up. This is what we set up. Here it is. Enjoy.
I will. Padawan meets God. That'd be great. Or just have it like a almost like, oh my God, could you imagine like a Jedi equivalent of Scooby-Doo, where it's basically a monster of the week kind of a thing.
Yes, please.
Apprentice and master just fly planet to planet, and they're just like, the council has told us to go deal with this problem. One episode it's a political drama. One episode it's a just like a monster fight. Other it's some kind of mystery. Do you imagine the versatility of that kind of a show?
Like Zoinks Chewy?
No, not like that. Though it would be hilarious if it's a group of 2 masters and 2 apprentices, and one of the Padawans is a Wookiee. That'd be hilarious. Oh, I see you have picked up a loaf of bread.
Yeah, she's begging for attention, so because no one ever loves her or gives her attention ever.
my pupper was begging for attention too, mainly because I had food.
Yeah, well, you'll have that.
Well, this is a chocolate cake thing, so she can't have that.
No, that would be bad.
Very, very
No,
bad.
you're not bad. You're okay. She heard the word bad. You're okay, baby.
Oh no, you're the bestest loaf.
You're okay.
Look at that baby.
Yeah, she's got sad little punim. But okay, you gotta get down.
We have a
there we
show
go.
to do.
Holy cow, she is shedding. Wow.
To John's point of like having a couple times where you had to like slog through it, I agree, but I never lost interest. They always had me in like little tiny tidbits throughout the ones you had to push through. I will say their escapades in sci-fi Scotland, there were too many episodes of them just planning. Like, I understand it is very important to plan out a heist, but there's a reason why things like I immediately deleted Ocean's 11 or something like that. There's a reason they do that in a montage. Like, people want to see the payoff. They don't want to see you sitting there with a map going, okay, let's take the next 13 hours to go over this. But there were some good points in there, so I wasn't like completely lost. That being said, directly after the heist is where we stopped. Not for lack of interest, but life happened and life continues to happen. And every time I think, man, I want to go watch and like finish Andor, I don't. I don't know why. I'm a bad fan.
Kathleen says, I'm not dead.
Yay!
Yay, Kathleen.
Wait, are you talking
maybe I'll
about
put Andor on my watch list while I recover next month. You better.
Oh, there you go. Ooh, that'd be good. I mean, you're going to be sitting down doing nothing for a while. So.
Reads through comments, scowls at John.
I was going to say, are you saying you're not dead or Edna's not dead?
Either way, yes.
Either way, it's a good thing.
It's a yes. All right, so there's lots of things that need to be discovered yet, and clearly we won't get those till season 2. But I'm hoping that there's another trailer with a little bit more, a couple more snippets here and there to help us understand what's going on in season 2 of Andor. But the trailer is out now. It looks fun, and if you want to see what all the Easter eggs are, like we said, Screen Crush has a episode out with 71 Easter eggs on a minute and a half or a little over a minute trailer.
That's literally one every like 1 1/4 second.
Yeah. So
no, it's less. It's one every like 1.05. Hang on. I need to do the math.
He's gonna do the math. He's gonna math this thing up. Kathleen says, I had met me, then I saw the Edna comment and got angry. She had some Wookiee rage.
Minute and a half is 90 seconds divided by 71. Oh, no, I was right. Every 1 1/4 second.
Yeah. So, yeah, I need to sit down and watch that because I'm curious to how they got what all Easter eggs they found and, what I missed. And that's the biggest reason why I like watching Screen Crush is figure out what I missed in a trailer. But, all right. Any parting thoughts on Andor before we move on to our next topic?
I really hope they don't mess it up. That's the only thing I'm worried about is like, I'm just thinking about it in the sense of, think of The Mandalorian.
Right.
It was beautiful. And it was still good for the other 2 seasons. But there was like a noticeable like decline as the seasons continued.
Particularly towards the end of season 2, going into season 2.5 with Boba Fett. And then coming back at the end of season, starting with season 3, and then hit an all-time low with Lizzo and Jack Black, and then tried to rebound from there.
Yeah. Like, I understand cameos are great. Having, like, very famous people playing characters is great. They can do great things. This was literally... It was not them playing a character or anything. That was just, look, Jack Black and Lizzo.
Yeah,
That was
it
the
was a
whole purpose of the
caricature.
episode. Yeah.
It was a caricature. So, all right, yeah, I agree. Let's
So
hear.
I
Fingers
hope
crossed.
it
Season 2.
maintains I hope it either maintains or exceeds expectations.
Yeah, I agree. And then there's also Saw Gerrera, there's K2SO, director Krennic. We're seeing a lot of really cool things. So I do have really high hopes for season 2.
Oh, yeah.
All right, moving on.
Which, speaking of exceeding expectations.
Exactly. Captain America, Brave New World. Absolutely love this movie.
I have one thing when it comes to this movie, and it is not even about this movie.
Okay.
What is with Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't
the
understand.
critic score is like 52. The audience score is 94.
Yeah.
How could there be such a massive discrepancy between those two things? Like, yes, there were moments in the movie where I'm like, oh, the CGI was not that great in that one scene. But I mean, the story was great. This felt like a Captain America movie. This did not feel like the 15th iteration of Guardians of the Galaxy with a new skin. Because that's what most of recent Marvel has been to me, is just every single piece of dialogue needs to be a one-liner. Everything needs to be a quip. Everything needs to be a joke. Especially with characters that don't normally joke or have bits. Like, that's what Marvel has been recently.
Yeah.
And it was already doing that before, it was already doing that, leading into Infinity War, and then obviously all the way through Endgame. But, I mean, Brave New World, it reminded me of Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Like, the quality, at least.
Oh, I agree.
And the tone. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one of the nicest things about this, and I know that Anthony Mackie took some flack because the people were like, oh, he's not going to be a good Captain America, and he's not going to be this. He's, and I always love it when people say that before they see the movie because they haven't given it a chance yet. But one of the things that Marvel's version of the fandom menace. I think that one of the things I liked most about Anthony Mackie's portrayal of Sam Wilson as Captain America is that he was relatable. He was the line in the movie uttered by the Winter Soldier is absolutely perfect. You give something for people to aspire to be. He's realistic. He's an everyday guy. He doesn't have the super soldier serum. He's when he's out there to fight and up against these, the Red Hulk, he's doing it alone. He's doing it by himself. He's doing it without, super soldier serum, putting his life on the line.
Vibranium wings definitely help. But in the same way as a vibranium shield helped.
Right.
But
that was the thing. But still.
Yeah, that was the thing that honestly, I thought it was going to be a different dialogue. I loved that scene. I loved what Bucky said. I really thought he was going to... Dr. Erskine says to Steve in the first Captain America movie, not a perfect soldier, but a good man.
Right.
That is Sam Wilson, which is why he's such a good Cap.
Exactly.
Which, I don't want to, all the people that I have seen that have a problem with Sam Wilson as Captain America, they have a problem with the fact that he's not Steve Rogers. Whether it be by how they act, or in most cases that I've seen, especially online, usually just comes down to this.
Skin tone, absolutely.
But when you actually look at the character, I mean, he is just as much, if not more, Captain America than Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers really could have done it all day. Sam doesn't have that.
No.
When Sam goes down and stands back up, he is a normal guy. And he's doing all of that. Exactly.
Yeah. John says, why squishy human fighting Red Hulk and leader? Why no Hulk smash? And Kathleen asked the very important question, does he also have America's ass?
I mean, there were a couple scenes where you're like, I mean, nobody has the Dorito figure of Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, but
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, Anthony Mackie's a good-looking man. I'm comfortable enough to say that. He's a handsome feller. Let's see. Also, she says, why Red Hulk old man? Because Harrison Ford's an amazing actor, and he absolutely did not phone this in. He did a very, very good job in this movie. My only complaint about the Red Hulk was that there wasn't enough of him.
no, I'm actually very happy about that.
Really? Okay.
Because when people were talking about all the reshoots that they've had to do, which, by the way, the amount of reshoots that needed to be done for Brave New World, most of them at Anthony Mackie's request, they had effectively an entire other movie with that many reshoots.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Red Hulk was supposed to be a much more prominent character, and the fight between Red Hulk and Cap was supposed to be significantly longer, and Sam was supposed to take way more hits. And they cut it to basically nothing because they went, this is a regular guy. If he was fighting the Hulk, if a regular person was fighting the Hulk, they'd be dead.
Yeah, vibranium or not. Yeah, he'd be dead.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many times that you see Sam in that fight, like, get barely grazed by Red Hulk and go flying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the faintest whisper of a hit, and the man's almost unconscious every time. Which I don't blame him. It's the Red Hulk. Which, there was only one more other little thing that I had as a problem with the CGI.
Okay.
I want to get problems out of the way first so I could talk about everything I loved. Right
please
after.
do.
Spoiler, if you couldn't tell, we're talking about spoilers. The very end of the fight between Thunderbolt Ross and Cap. Red Hulk looked so small. Like, you see him throughout the rest of the fight, and he's gigantic. He looks like a Hulk. And then at that very last scene, the CGI just didn't add up to me. I think it's because it was a scene that happened at a different point in the movie that they just edited the background and moved it to the end. But, I mean, Sam looked out of place amongst the rubble, like he kind of just got photoshopped in. But Red Hulk was tiny comparatively to, like, a Hulk.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
That is the most gripe I have, is that Hulk wasn't big enough.
Yeah, when you think Hulk, you think large, overpowering, you know.
I mean, look at Mark Ruffalo's Hulk in just the first Avengers movie. He was Hulk. He
Massive.
was this, like, almost like 15-foot tall, just gigantic behemoth. And then you got Red Hulk now. Obviously, Red Hulk is not as strong as regular Hulk. There's a lot of things about that. He has different powers in the comics. It's a whole thing. Point is, though, even in the comics, Red Hulk is gigantic. But
yeah,
here, he looked Korg, the big rock guy from Thor. He looked about the same size as Korg. That's not big enough for a Hulk.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably about half the size of the Green Hulk in this movie. So
I did find it funny that one of the paparazzi people was like, "They're red now?" Because so far in universe there are two Hulks, both of them are green.
Right
now we got a third, and that's confusing.
Kathleen asked, on a scale of flat to booty gatwa, where are we? With Chris Rogers being a cap, Chris Rogers cap being a very solid 9. It's, you know, I wasn't looking that closely, but we'll give him a strong 6 or 7 on the booty scale. So a strong 6 or 7 on the Cap booty scale. Crusher Convo says hi.
You tell me.
He's
you
got
tell
some
me,
booty.
well, especially with those stripes.
There you go. Tiny Hulk Squish. But yeah, there's so much that I loved about this. I am looking forward to seeing what's his name? The guy that took over his Falcon. The character's name.
Oh God, my brain deleted it too. Hang on.
Torres.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll just go with Torres. Looking forward to seeing him as a proper Falcon in the upcoming MCUs. Because Joaquin Torres, there it is.
Joaquin.
Joaquin. I'm tired.
We all are.
But having him and Cap work together in those scenes until he got clipped was really cool for me. And I was really enjoying that. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing Cap with his Falcon and them flying together and doing things together. And I'm really, really kind of stoked about that.
That was such a great scene where like Cap had that really. We do. All right, I'm gonna start working on an official booty scale for the podcast, just because I think that'd be hilarious. I loved the scene. I love the scene when they're on the carrier and they're trying to like send out fighters and whatnot, and Cap is just like, "Mr. President, you got 2 birds right here. You want us to take care of that?" And then he got the all clear, and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah. It was so much fun.
That whole thing.
Ben gets me.
That whole interaction around Celestial Island, everything that was happening, I thought that was fantastic. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Go, please. Go ahead. I cut you off.
I was just going to say, just the way the puzzle pieces finally laid out, the way everything worked to the leader's plan, and just the manipulation, the bravery of everyone trying to stop it, just the way it was done, it was great. I think it was really well done. Yeah. I will have one comment regarding the fandom menace. Their gripe with that scene where Sam jumps onto a missile like a surfboard and just knocks it into the water. As if the first Avengers movie, Iron Man didn't fly up and grab a rocket and move it. Like, we know it can be done. It's also the fact that he was clearly fast enough to go supersonic, which means he's faster than the missile, so he can catch up. And Hi, I was in the Army for 10 years. I don't know specifically how missiles work, but I know a decent enough... I could get a decent enough guess. If you have anything that is flying and you drop something on its head as it's in motion, it will mess up its flight pattern. So if you just bump onto a missile's like front as it's going, yeah, it could potentially correct itself, but for the most part, it's probably going to crash and not at its intended target.
Okay. We got a few comments here I'm going to try and catch up with. Jesse said, I've lost interest in the Marvel movies because there has been a lot. Understood and fair. Even the show's kind of over it.
I wholeheartedly agree. I have not cared about Marvel since Endgame. There have been a couple points. What's up?
It says it's been hard to.
Yeah, I mean, the big bad guy was done. That's it. They won. The day is over.
Yeah.
And it's just so, like, the only Marvel movies I cared to watch were No Way Home and then Cap. Those were the only ones I was actually interested in seeing.
Yeah. So she says there that too much content, it just doesn't matter anymore. John says lack of cohesive direction since Endgame. Exactly.
Mhm.
Endgame should have been the end. It was in the title. So my only,
But this is the biggest moneymaker Disney has ever had. You think they're gonna end it?
between this and Star Wars, they're going to pump out anything and everything they can. So
Mhm.
here's what I will say.
Regardless of quality.
Right. And up to this point, since Endgame, there has been a lot of also rans. Whether it
Mhm.
was the Marvel miniseries or if it was the movies. Since Endgame, the only shows that I've cared about were Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
I thought that was pretty well done. I had some
Oh, it's
moments where I was still
great.
kind of like, you know, um, and and then I saw a couple of the movies, but they all seemed like they were going this way and that way, and nothing seemed to make sense. And it was just, and of course Loki, and I really enjoyed Loki.
Yeah.
But
The fact that Eternals came out in 2020 and now it's 5 years later and we are
and
finally seeing a movie
finally
that
getting some,
acknowledges its existence.
yeah.
We've been
So
waiting
that
for 5 years for them to mention this island.
well, we've been waiting for longer than that for the Incredible Hulk movie to be treated like it was canon
And the fact that they did both of these in the same event, like
is
we had
amazing.
one line, we had a single line from Avengers 1 where Banner says, I kind of broke Harlem. And then a
Mm-hmm.
single line from She-Hulk where, again, he says, I was a totally different person back then, which is another joke to recasting, which I
Right,
thought they did wonderful in Brave New World, where they met up.
right.
It's like getting used to the new look. It's like, oh, yeah, I had to shave. It's as if that's the reason why he suddenly looks like Harrison Ford.
Right. I had to shave to win the election. Yeah.
Which
Kathleen
I'm trying
says,
to remember the actual person, the original Ross's name.
isn't it William Hurt?
Yeah, but I know he passed away.
Yeah.
So obviously they were going to have to recast if they
Had to
continued
recast him if they
using
were
the
going to
character.
continue. Yeah, exactly.
But I think this
Kath,
does, yeah, I think Harrison Ford continues the legacy of the character pretty well.
very well, in my opinion. But then again, I'm a Harrison Ford fanboy, so just about anything he does, I'm down for. Kathleen says the shows have more spark for me. She-Hulk, Loki, and I'm excited more about Daredevil. I'm very excited about Daredevil. Loved
Born
She-Hulk. I thought it was,
again, we need it.
yeah. I thought She-Hulk was a lot of fun. Loki was amazing. Of course, there was
Which
Deadpool 3.
and Deadpool 3, yeah.
Uh,
Which that was
Doctor
all just
Strange.
a
I had such a hard time with Doctor Strange. That movie, how the use of America Chavez
everything.
was just, and then there was everything else.
Making Wanda the bad guy, making Strange, despite being very
just-
clearly wrong, making him
just-
seem like a good dude.
just very.
Yeah.
I had a very, very hard time with it.
The thing that annoyed me about Doctor Strange 2 was the fact that they set up the plot for a second movie at the end of the first one, and then somehow
avoided it.
hand-waved that entire plot line as if it's done.
Yeah, they just moved past it. And yeah, Jesse, you should absolutely finish Loki. Yeah. Ki Hu Kwan is just amazing in that. He's much fun. So much fun as Obi. Tim probably liked Kingdom of the Crystal Skull just because of Harrison Ford. Actually, I enjoyed Kingdom of the Crystal Skull until right up to the very end where they were like, and here's the aliens to suck out our brains and take us away. Then I was like, yeah, this is dumb. This is stupid.
That was dumb. Not Shia LaBeouf swinging through the jungle with a bunch of monkeys.
There were other issues. We're not going to address those things. Like
there's a lot of issues that I think you're a little biased, my friend.
Oh no, we've actually addressed these issues in a previous live show where we talked about the problems of the show, of that movie. Number one, the refrigerator saving Indy. That would have never happened. He would have been a melted chihuahua inside of that thing.
Well,
the ants carrying away a person and eating them. the swinging through the branches, the speaking of branches, the tiny little branches supporting that big people mover truck, and just letting it, and yes, I am a bit of a Harrison Hottie Pants fanboy. Thank you very much. So I said ish. They added a Xena statue, so that gave me lots of brownie points, and Patrick was back for 2 secs.
Yeah, that's also true. The fact that, actually, that brings up a lot of questions.
Right there. I did like the chemistry between Shia and Harrison. I thought they did really well together on screen.
They did fantastic.
So there was problems with the movie. It's probably about a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's not all that. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst.
We talking about ending, Cap or Crystal Skull?
Crystal Skull. Just finishing off.
Okay.
No, but I just
a 6 out of 10 for Cap.
No,
a little
honestly, it was about an 8 out of 10 for me. There's still some things that could have been fixed in this movie. A lot of fun things, a lot of good reasons. There's a lot of reasons to watch this. I love the fact that we're finally tying back to the original Hulk movie, and I love the fact that we finally made the Eternals worth
canon.
Something. They're finally worth something.
And the fact that Betty was back.
Yeah.
We got to see Betty after like 15 years.
Which, she was almost the old lady from the Titanic. It's been 84 years.
Let me just say, Liv Taylor, she has to legitimately be an elf. She looks no different in that scene than she did the first scene in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. It's been
She is ageless. Years. I'm waiting for, like, on my deathbed, she's going to come out with a movie and look just as stunning. I'm just going to be like, it's not fair!
Right? Yeah. But yeah, this is a strong 8 out of 10 for me. I really very much enjoyed this movie. Yeah, honestly, if you're hesitant on watching something out of the MCU right now that's not Deadpool, I honestly give it a chance. This movie is very strongly done. It actually feels like there's direction and there's meaning and purpose behind this movie, not just, hey, we're out to get a cash grab. I feel like they're actually legitimately trying to set something back up. So I'm very, very excited about that.
Which, 2 things.
So, Ben's New York accent came up.
Shut up.
Good. Yeah. Good.
My accent comes out whenever I want it to. Which I had 2 things that I wanted to talk about specifically.
Yeah, please do.
Because I know we're getting close. We're very close to an hour, and I don't know how long we want to drag this out. But the 2 things I really wanted to talk about was the first one being Sam Wilson, Captain America, is not the same as Steve Rogers. They are both Captain America in their own rights. But the thing I loved about this is the fact that they finally gave us Sam Wilson, the counselor, the man who will talk you down. That is something I loved. The fact that all the people he fought throughout the entirety of the movie, he was basically a therapist during the fight. He's like, hey, I know you want to kill me, but maybe reconsider. We can talk about some of your trauma. We can work through this.
Right.
We can do some stuff. And, I mean, it does actually play off in the end. It's literally how he beat Hulk. He talks him down.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great. But at the same time, he is full on a, like, Black Ops soldier to the point where one of the best scenes is when I don't remember his name. The Serpent Society guy, Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. But when he was fighting Sam without the shield and everything, he had a gun. He was ready to kill. He's like, you're nothing without your gear. And then Sam runs up and just full on drop kicks him. Knocks him completely out cold. He's like, nah, I'm just a bit meaner. I'm like, oh. And then the very first fight in the movie, where he gets the shield knocked out of his hand, and he's like, all right, fine. Your arm belongs to me. Rips it out of its socket. He doesn't like rip the arm off, but that was a brutal crunch in that first like big fight.
Yeah.
But it shows that Sam, despite being a nice person, he'll end the fight. He will end the fight.
He's not afraid to play dirty, for sure.
Well, I think it mainly comes back to the mentality that Sam can't do this all day.
Right, so he's got to get it done.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't have the super soldier serum to push him through.
Sometimes you got to be very meticulous. Sometimes you got to like plan. Sometimes you got to talk. Sometimes you have to be a hammer.
Well, you know, in the immortal words of Kenny Rogers, sometimes you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them.
I had a feeling you were going to pull that. How dare you?
Oh, all right.
But go ahead, please. To my quick second point, because I have a feeling we're going to end soon. This is like the 5th movie in a row that they are establishing the multiverse. The fact that they are establishing the multiverse so many times, can we stop? We know it exists. We know that there's a multiverse. Everyone in Marvel knows it's the multiverse. We don't need another revelation that there's the multiverse.
Well, I think the fact that they keep firing people in lead acting roles to
yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, I guess we'll change. So not Kang? No Kang? Okay. All right. So Secret Wars? Yeah, Secret Wars. We're going to do that one. That one's still cool. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Okay. We're going to need to reestablish the multiverse now. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's how it went.
Once they, so spoiler for the end credit scene. If you have not seen it or have not seen the movie, you've already gotten a bunch of spoilers already. So why are you still here? Please don't leave. Give us more views.
You must love me.
Which, by the way, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. But end credit scene. The leader being like, "Oh, you'll never like. You think you're the only superheroes? Wait until the other worlds show you their superheroes or whatever." We've already established through the Marvels. I will call it the X-Men universe, only because they are at Xavier's mansion. You got Hank McCoy, Beast. You have an establishment of they exist, which is great. This is a 2-parter. One, what universes are probably going to come up to fight during the incursions that will lead into Secret Wars? I was really hoping they were going to go with the Beyonders and just picking people out of a hat to fight. I think it's going to be the incursions where another Earth will show up and they're going to have to duke it out for who gets to live, which is, I think, is going to suck. But it could give us Miles Morales. That is literally how that happened in the comics. Miles was on another universe. Incursions happened, and then Miles just was in our universe. Well, the 616 universe. My brain just blanked on the rest of the thought process I was going to have. They also mentioned in the movie of bringing the Avengers back together.
Right. New creation of new Avengers.
Who do you think is going to be on that team? There's nobody left.
Yeah.
You got Cap, Falcon.
You'll get Spidey.
Will we, though?
Maybe.
Like, we established that he's doing his own thing
because Bucky's going to be on the Thunderbolts.
Oh, that actually brings up another weird thing. Congressman Barnes?
Yeah, something's got to happen between this movie and the Thunderbolts for Congressman Barnes to be considered, one of the people, like, because Thunderbolts is essentially Suicide Squad for Marvel, and So what's happened to get him to that point? So something has to happen between then and then. So I'm curious. Many much questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions of like who's going to be on. Actually, for those that not watching live, for people watching later on, you tell us your list of who you want in the new Avengers team, led by Sam Wilson, Captain America. Because I have a couple thoughts. I don't know how well it's going to go.
What's up, Jay? Jay from Three Geeks. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hello. I'm just trying to think because there's not a lot of people. They have an okay establishment for the Young Avengers.
She's here. Jesse's here.
Because I'm just thinking, Kamala has set up the beginning of the Young Avengers, or I guess the new champions.
Yeah, Young Avengers for sure.
We don't have an Avengers lineup. There's Cap, Falcon, maybe Doctor Strange, She-Hulk, because they're not going to bring Hulk back. Maybe Spider-Man. Daredevil's coming out.
Captain Marvel.
Is she, though? I would love to see Captain Marvel to be like the big hitter for the new Avengers team, but I don't know if Brie Larson's going to really do extra Marvel stuff anymore.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
I want her to. I think it would be great.
I really enjoy her as Captain Marvel, so I would be okay with that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
She's got the perfect personality for it.
But I mean, that's kind of it. I mean, maybe New Vision, the like colorless vision, I guess.
Right. The White Vision.
Yeah, they don't have much of a team.
It's going to be a little interesting because, who and I mean they've basically set it up for the Young Avengers to take off, but there's Shang-Chi, he could be
Shang-Chi would be fantastic.
Yeah, he would be very good.
But I don't know.
I feel like this is a whole other live episode to have a conversation about.
That's a fair point.
I think that's how we do that. I think we have a conversation about who could be in the new Marvels.
Between now and then, I will make an entire PowerPoint. Well, bye. I will make an entire PowerPoint of just who's left.
Yeah, pretty much. And the road that she's talking about is the FSF PopCast. Good friends of ours. Go check them out. And that they're a lot of fun. They talk a lot of Star Wars and other random nerdery. And we love them. Good peoples.
And I think for the most part, I think we're pretty done with this live. So for any of you watching, maybe hop on over there if you got nothing else to do.
Absolutely. And we will be back Thursday night. John and I, maybe Thursday night. We'll see. Usually we try. Possible. It's a distinct possibility. But every Monday, 7 p.m., there's either a live or a replay. And but yeah, next week, I'm pretty sure that we could be talking about the Avengers. So because that seems like a really fun topic. So, and and then we could also set it up so we could have our booty scale.
Okay.
Next week we have amazing guests, the best ones ever. We have the live show set up for.
I didn't know we were joining you on your live.
I think, yeah, that's what I thought. Is that next week? Is that next week, Jay?
Oh, yeah, that is next week. That is next Monday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They'll be joining us. So, 3-3 with Three Geeks. I forgot about that. So anyway, Jason from the Three Geeks and 3-3 is next week. Yeah, it's been a long week. Anyway, they're going to be joining us next week. We're going to have some fun with them. They've got some new castmates, and they're still not able to count to the number 3, except for he knows where the 3 is on his keyboard. So, but you're not the only one who forgot. Yay, me! Way to go with my brain.
I mean,
all right.
To be fair, last week was a whole month, and last month was like 5 minutes. So
yeah, absolutely.
Time is a strange soup.
And then also, just as a quick reminder for those of you who are February tried to kill me and I forgot everything. It did try to kill you. I can only count to 4. We can only anyway. As a reminder, this upcoming week, I'm sitting down with Catherine Baskin from Arrowhead Game Studios, the creator of Helldivers 2. We'll have an exclusive interview for you here on FSF PopCast, but a completely separate interview for you on Couch Soup. But yeah, some really cool stuff coming with Catherine. She is amazing, and I cannot wait to get her on camera and have a fun little chatteroo with her this upcoming week. So we'll get her on camera, have some fun with her, and get that out to you right away so you guys can enjoy it as well. Tim reads that comment. John, that was only that month, wasn't it? That was John. It was January, February. There was December before that. I think all the months tried to kill us, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But just February is far more aggressive with you, Kathleen. So
just remember, though, what doesn't kill you usually succeeds in the second attempt.
Well, on that note, I think that's a good time to call it. And just want to say thank you to everybody in the live stream tonight. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for playing along. And we will see you next week, Monday, when we have, apparently, the 3 Geeks podcast coming on, because Jason reminds me of these things because I have the brain of a goldfish. But yeah,
we will slot our Marvel Avengers and or booty list to another day.
Oh no, we can talk about that with Jason. I think he would enjoy that conversation.
But I'm not gonna be there.
Oh,
my wife is catching a flight, so I have to help her.
Way to go, Mimi. Way to go. All right.
Mimi is not ruining anything. Mimi is perfect.
Exactly. Well, kids and cadets, on that note, thank you very much. And may the force continue to be with you as you live long and prosper. Goodbye.
Copyright 2025 FSF PopCast. Reference any specific product or entity mentioned on this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by FSF PopCast. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at info@fsfpopcast.com.